5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
Guy. Here he is. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Live with Neve. It is 10 o'clock. We're on the beautiful North America. We're on the East Coast, rather. And I haven't had my tea yet, but I'm here. I'm dressed. I'm present. I have no pants on, and we're ready to do a great show. Today is a wonderful day. It's kind of cloudy and gray here in the New York area, as it's been for the past week or so. It's actually warm, though. I'm in this sweater sweating already, and here I am. I'm trying to give us some good news to start our week. I have a great guest on today. I have my usual associate, Mandy Shee. She's lurking in the dressing room, just waiting to come on. I know she's got all kinds of great stuff to talk about. I have the talented and lovely Elizabeth Berliner will be joining me, a young lady who plays guitar, sings, and songwrites, and is just a really cool chick. And she's from LA, but now she's up in a place that's very fond to my heart, the Berkshires, which if any of you guys go up there, it is tremendous place and one of my favorite getaways. I love driving up there and eating good food. There's some restaurant on Route 7. Good morning, California. Let me do that in Arnold. Good morning, California. I am your governor. I'm here to tell you I'm getting my Terminator Johnson improved. Any rate, enough about Arnie's Johnson. I wonder why he didn't name himself Arnie Johnson. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so I'm looking here, our good news update. I try really hard every time I do this to find something that's good news. How about this? Did aliens land on Earth in 1945? I don't know. I have no clue. I know that they once came here and they did something evil to me. I woke up sticky and all of a sudden I saw this thing flying into the air. I don't know. Call me silly, but it's either that or the mushrooms. I'm not sure. All I can tell you is, I don't know. Have they visited? If anybody out here in cyberspace has seen an alien, please tell us about it. I promise I won't make fun of you. My phone is all jacked up. Oh, man, sorry to hear that. Toby's here. Yeah, phone home. Touch me. I don't know. I've been told they could do magic things with that little glowing finger. I don't know. I have to find out. So I'm looking here. There's the alien thing. There's a defense bill that they're going to finally try, and through this bill and some arcane language and structuring and massaging the messages, they call it, they're going to probably try and tell us that no alien fell here. But I don't know. I'm looking at the picture of it. It looks like something my drama class would have made in like boarding school. It's like this crashed silver disc. I could just see the whole gang making a committee decision. I don't know about you people. What do you all think about committees? I think they suck. They're just usually a bunch of people who don't actually do any work trying to put together a scope of work order for people who actually know, might have an engineering degree or something. And they're like, oh, well, this will be so cute. So, God. But, in really sad news today, Lisa Marie Presley's passed away. And I broke that right after the first reports from LA or wherever it was came out. Sad story. I don't know about you folks, but I think she had a pretty tough life. I think being the king's daughter and I don't know, the whole weirdness of the Michael Jackson marriage. Good morning, Gina, by the way. And yeah, I mean, I'm asking, there's just a few of us here. It's still early, but have any of you guys ever seen anything that you really thought was weird and questioned it? I mean, I'm open to the fact that mathematically, I find it inconceivable that there's not something out there. Just the sheer number of planets, exoplanets, as they would call them, that circle a sun similar to ours. It's just too many suns in the galaxy for there not to be any form of life somewhere, I think. But I will tell you, it's sort of like ghosts and goblins. We had a guy on the show who was a self-proclaimed demonologist and ghost hunter. And, I'm kind of like want to believe. Everybody wants to believe. But, most of the ghosts I've ever seen have been two-legged and they're real and they're not ghosts. Real people do far more damage. If I saw a ghost, I'd be like, yeah, what's up? I mean, I have some people I have for friends. I wish they'd come back as a ghost, I agree with you, Toby. I do too, man. In fact, if you guys find something fascinating, there's a great comet coming this month. You can just look up the February comet, and it's not been here in 50,000 years. So nobody, even I know, has seen it yet. And I don't know. I'd like to get up there in that thing that Elon's got, his little space up into space and then land going down. That's some cool stuff. I mean, I was a kid reading comic books, thinking they'd have rockets that go up and then land. And look at this shit. Here we are. We've got it. Put my iPhone on, call up my girlfriend. Hey, what's up, baby? Send me a shot, At any rate, I'm kidding. I don't encourage that. I don't think I'd last long. But going back to the good news factor here, I really just don't see much. It's all like bullshit. There's some of this Harry and, whatever Meghan crap going on. It just doesn't do it. And then they say there's a study that will tell us that old mice can grow young again. Okay, well, can I get some of this stuff? Probably that would be dangerous because I already have the mental ability and agility of a 12-year-old. But enough of me. Let's see what else is going on. Let's bring on Mandy.
Hey, what's going on?
Good morning. How are you?
Great. Talking about aliens. That's what's up.
Yeah, well, that was kind of, it popped up. That was like the only good news of any kind. This stuff's all morbid and depressing. More shit about Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. We got a bunch of people pissed off. They're still yakking at Trump. People from Trump are yakking at the other side. They're all just a bunch of schmucks. Fuck them all, man. It's Friday. And I'll tell you, something I've done is take a media fast on the weekend. Don't even bother. Yeah, turn the Drudge Report, put that shit, fold it up in a paper airplane and sing it off my balcony, So do you have any great plans or disturbing plans or recording
plans? No, not
plans?
really.
You're just hanging?
Yeah, getting chaos in order. I mean, I have a lot of little things going on. When you're juggling all your balls and then it's just like, bam, So I'm trying to get my balls in order.
I make sure that they're well cleaned and, taken care of. It's sort of like Arnold Palmer's wife taking care of his balls. He got that caused such a kerfluffle back in the 70s. Now all I have to do is turn on MTV and I can go to any good gangster rap, see your shit that, is way, more offensive than that. But what the hell? I kind of like some of that stuff. It's just so raw and nasty that
right, exactly.
I can see the fact that it like gets the hackles up on people. And it's sort of like rock and roll in that sense. It's rebellion and anger and, rage. I don't know whether it's all good or not. You know what? Does it really matter in today's world of music? Let me ask you something. Can you name me one band in the top 10 right now? How about it? Anybody out there in Radio Land? Can you guys name me like one? Give me 5 bands that are in the top 10.
I know, and that's horrible, right?
Well, I read Billboard, I see all this, and I go through, I diligently, like when I'm looking for new bands to have on, I look at up and coming bands, and sometimes it's just like, it's just not good.
I know.
I mean, I feel like an old guy who's gone, it's like my parents. My stepdad was a real jerk. He'd be like, what is this Frank Zappa stuff you're listening to? I'm like, oh, it's really great music since 7/8. And he'd be like, I don't give a shit. What does 7/8 mean? Yeah. You better fucking quit playing that shit. Can you play that one more time? I'd be like,
Yeah.
So I had a friend of mine whose mom was the coolest mom in the hood. Sadly, her husband had passed. And so her house turned into party central for the neighborhood. In today's world, she'd have been off. Some concerned neighbor would have called the law about us sitting there playing this song. I actually had a guy once. I rode a mini bike over to my friend's house for band practice. and I'm riding along this little Yamaha like 125 through the neighborhoods, thinking I'm not going to get into trouble. There's no cops in this. Where I live, man, there's no cops. They're all down there eating donuts. Their crime rate's like 0. They might bring your dog home, or they have like a drunken dispute where one of the landed gentry smacks their wife around or something. But, you know, they don't really do anything. There's like not been a murder where I grew up since like 1500 or something, you know. Anyhow, I roll on. Today is Freeform Radio, people, as always. If you're easily offended, amused, tortured, traumatized, keep watching. Send me the results. Send me your test results.
Yeah, take pics. Send them in.
If you have any friends who are weird and there's nowhere else, bring them here. We'll find them a home. At Live with Neve, we're committed to helping the species improve itself. Again, I keep looking over here thinking there's going to be some good news that'll miraculously pop up, but it's not really happening. We have like so much good music here in Asbury Park in New York this weekend. It's insane. I'm playing tomorrow with Nick Clemens' band at the Chubby Pickle for all my local friends. It's an all-day event from 2 until 2, and you can pretty much know that I'm not going to be there from 2 to 2. All right, that costs a lot of money. And sorry, guys, no, I'm kidding y'all. The thought of me gigging like for 2 till 12 or 2 in the morning is just like insane. There's going to be 20 bands, and I'm a pretty damn good conga player. But by 20 bands later, I'm done with that shit.
That's a lot.
I'll go up and play, you know, a few hours. I have no problem. Hell, I'll play 4 hours even. But
yeah.
I don't want to sit there. Plus, it's always bad if you have jammers and they show up and they suck. I would kind of skulk off if they're really bad. I know that's terrible.
I back into the bushes. That's my signature move. Is back into the bushes.
Absolutely, yeah. I always make sure wherever I'm at that I can see the doors coming and stuff, because over the years in my career, I've seen some crazy shit come in the door, you know. I literally saw a guy get shot once, and I was the first person in the band to notice what was happening. I'm looking because I'm sitting in the middle of the stage. I'm just rocking along, playing some Leonard Skinner shit for a bunch of drunk rednecks. And I see a guy with a gun run in the front door, and that caught my attention because he's like directly in front of me, about 50 feet away. I see him start chasing a guy through the fucking audience with a gun. Then I hear, as that happens, my reptile brain kicks in, and I leap behind the Marshall stack, and I'm peeking through the little gap going, where the fuck is this lunatic? My band, just all they heard was no drums from like 180 decibels. And they're looking around, and then they hear the gunshots, then the screaming. Well, I don't know where the guy is. He hits the guy who's not aiming at in the neck. The luckiest man I've ever seen. He got grazed, and I saw one of the coldest responses to somebody getting shot. The guy's on the floor screaming, and a big old biker walks over to him, looks at his neck and goes, knock it off. You're okay. He didn't get you. Stand up and walk it off. I'm like sitting there laughing to myself. Meantime, there were people in the bar who were running to their car for guns. That guy, when he ran off the dude who did the shooting after it happened, he ran up on our stage and out the stage door, and I'm crouched behind on the left side of the drum set looking at the audience, trying to figure out where he is. And then there he is. He looks, and he saw me. I just like literally almost soiled myself, we'll say. And I was just like, you know, drummer, man, I got a backstage pass. Is that kryptonite? Fuck, man. And he ran off, and it was the craziest thing. And you know what?
That is nuts.
That club, we took a 10-minute break, and it went on like nothing even happened. I couldn't believe it. That bikers are going, oh, he's a pussy, man. You know, I got shot in the neck. If they just shot me in the neck, I got to tell you, man, I'm pretty cool. I'm very stoic in many areas of my life. But Jesus, getting shot in the neck, I probably would whine a little bit about it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't see myself I'd be like, my first question would be, am I shot? Am I bleeding real bad?
Well, and am I alive? Like, you know?
Well, I know. I mean, gosh. Well, so let's see. We're 10:14. We're right on schedule. You guys have worn out my quotient today for BS and nonsense, but don't worry. I'll try. Hey, Bill, man, good to see you, buddy. Hey, I didn't make it to the studio yesterday. I hope you guys had a good time. I was just I got sucked into the whole immediate family vortex at the Basie last night. Great concert, people. I mean, just outrageous. Yes, I'm going to play when we come back, I'm going to play you a little music from the show last night. I got a couple of videos saved. And right now we're going to go to a break. And let's see what we got here. Who today shall be my victim? Well, we'll start with Leland. Why not?
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
All right, all right. There's some Leonard Cohen by the Neil Van Erdy's super secret project. That is, I love Leonard Cohen, and that song, I think we found a good vibe for it. So, last night, I went to the Basie and saw the Immediate Family. And for those of you who are not familiar with them, they are the band that they played on virtually every record known to man out of LA in the 70s and late 60s, 70s to now. Leland Sklar, Russ Kunkel, Danny Korchmeyer, excuse me, I named the kid Korchmeyer. And then we've got Steve. I'm sorry, drawing a break. I'm looking at him. I have Steve Purcell, and Waddy Wachtel, man, the ultimate rock star, you know, after me. No, I'm kidding. Waddy is the coolest dude, you know. He's like band director for Stevie Nicks, and he wrote with Warren Werewolves of London, which is like the song that makes people stop listening to Warren. I'm kidding, but people only know that aspect of Warren Zevon's songwriting sometimes, and I'm always amazed that they don't realize there's a whole lot more than that. Oh, what's this about being punched in? Well, I'm here. Can you hear me, Tokyo? Do you hear me okay, Mandy?
I hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
I hear you.
Leonard didn't make it to the audience. We saw two of you bopping your heads to the music. All right, man. I didn't see you. I wish I had. It was a great show, wasn't it? So I'm going to play a little bit. This hasn't been transferred over, but I'll give you a little taste of what we had last night. Steve Purcell singing a Jackson Browne song from '83. It's in the movie Porky's, I believe. The green screen. Fuck. That was funny. The green screen started popping through the video there. That was pretty weird. Oh, okay. So they came on. Steve Postel. I'm sorry, terrible, man. Killed me. I love those boys too, man. They came out just tight. The set was a little different than I heard out in LA. I liked it. They played my favorite song because it's very near and dear to my heart. It's called, it'll come to me in a second. I'm sorry, I really didn't get my coffee.
It's too early to think.
So glad you went to the Immediate Family show. Yeah, me too. I wasn't going to miss that. I talked to Lee this morning, and they had a good time here. There was some rumors. Bruce Springsteen's in town. Well, he's always around, but he was rehearsing down the street. So I made a few phone calls and was trying to get message to his camp. I have a friend of mine. There's not many people who can just dial Bruce up and send him a text. So I made a call to a friend of mine who can do that. I keep thinking I'm going to steal his phone one of these days and just ring him up. Hey, Bruce, what's happening? Yeah, it's Neve. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, you got to come down here to Highlands. We're going to have a beer and a hot dog, all right? That's it. Okay, get here now. Hurry up. Chop, chop. Click. I don't know. I used to live right down the street from Bruce. Literally, I was at 1 Bellevue, and he was down at like 10 across from the Rumson Day School, which is
You ever get his mail?
Did I ever get his mail? No, I did not. But I did, after Hurricane Sandy, take a ride around the neighborhood to see what was screwed up and wrecked. And I go by his house, and to me, his gate, which is normally closed, he has an automatic gate. Well, it looks like me just took a truck and drove right on through it. It's like broken, the hinges are all askew. Well, again, in our town, it's like the bond traders might riot in the streets for BLM or something, but usually it's pretty sedate. The kind of neighborhood where they let me driving with the top down in a fast car, and the guy pulls me over at 4 a.m. after a gig. It's me and my girlfriend, and he goes, of course he knows my address. He's already scanned me. He goes, "You're driving a little fast tonight, Mr. Van Erdy." I kind of chuckled. I said, "I'm tired, man. I just want to get home." He goes, "Well, that's cool. I know you're almost home, so how about we give you an escort?" That shit blew my mind. Hey, Kelly Kincaid. What's happening, babe? Good morning to you. Oh, where's Irish, man? He got an invite. I don't know, man.
Yeah, where is he? What's he doing? Wake up.
He broke his foot. But at any rate, so for those of you out there, Toby, do you have their schedule in front of you? I want to just check. I believe they're playing in Connecticut tonight, in New York tomorrow, but I don't want to say that until we get confirmation. The Boz was there. Yes, the Boz is recording and doing a rehearsals. So I was hoping he might stop by last night. You never know. Bruce tends to, the place I used to work out at, he would work out there, and it was kind of funny when he'd go in there. There's some dink I remember meeting, and I mentioned this, and this guy goes, "Yeah, he was in there hitting on all the chicks. He acted like he fucking owned the place." And I kind of laughed, and I went, I hate to tell you, but I kind of think he does with the partner. I think he owns this one, or he's partners with the company, but I think he does own it. So shut the fuck up. He's Bruce Springsteen. He's like the honorary mayor or governor of New Jersey. And, yeah, and he was in that, the Stag Center or whatever the hell they call it. Strawn Theater, I don't know. I don't pay attention to crap like that. My mind's like a speeding train, and it's going in a lot of places. So, I don't know. Here, oh yeah, he's working with that foot. Damn. Well, that's where Irish is. Irish, for those of you who are wondering, is our co-host who's from Detroit. Quite an interesting fellow and quite a story. Irish was convicted of murder. His mother killed his father with her lover. And then they blamed it on a 16-year-old kid. For those of you who have never seen my interview with him, it's about 2 years old, and it is, I think it's probably the best interview I ever did, just because I didn't know what we were getting into. And there we go, people. Copy that link, and you can get tickets for Ticketmaster. I did the process yesterday. I had great front row seats for $60, $70 a piece. So, and really, if you're going to go, the Iridium sold out. Oh, that's where they were playing? I thought they were playing like at Sony Center like last time. That place is too small, man. They'll pack that. That sucks. Darn. Oh, well. Our guest today, Elizabeth, will be joining us in the next segment for the play out till the end. We're going to be listening to some good music today. But yeah, last time the family was here, they were at Sony Center, which is a big hall, nice place to go see a concert. The Iridium, have you ever been?
No.
It's like the size of my living room. No, I'm not kidding. It's a very intimate, small club. A great place. Great place to see a concert. I mean, I've seen a bunch of shows there, front row table. And my buddy Paul is a music business accountant. And because everybody knows him because he writes their checks out, or a lot of famous people, among them like Deep Purple. And they're in Ridgefield, Connecticut, right. I think, I see you, Elizabeth. Are you going? All right. God, I'm almost ready to drive up and go to the gig with Elizabeth. Come on, we're going, man. We're all taking a road trip. Let's get on the road. When we're done, we're going to drive to Mexico for 2 or 3 days. We're going to get all coked out. And we're going to come back. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll join the cartel or something. I don't know.
Unleash the beast.
Hey, you're kind of good looking for a redhead. I can sell you for a good price down there. I'm teasing you. I'm terrible. You know, that world scares the hell out of me, man. You know?
Yeah.
I'm just a scrawny drummer. It's like that guy with a gun, man. I'm like, shit, man.
Yeah,
I can't do nothing here.
No.
I'm Butkus, you know? Don't shoot me. I'm just a drummer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Toby, I was really surprised they didn't sell out last night, but the whole room, the floor was completely filled. It's hard to find a shitty seat in the Basie Theater. It's really a nice old theater from the turn of the century when vaudeville was going on and stuff like that. And then I'm not sure if Count Basie bought the existing building or built it, but he's a noted luminary from Monmouth County and a hell of a performer, just an icon for sure. So we're about 5 minutes till our next break. Let's check out a little more of the immediate family. And here he is, Mr. Waddy Wachtel, shutting it up. Hey, Rick.
Oh, hey, Rick, how's it going?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they just were tearing it up. High Maintenance Girlfriend. That was the song that they closed with, and that is my favorite song ever. I mean, that is a fact of life, man. I've seen that happen. High Maintenance. You know what? It's not just women, trust me. There's a lot of little snitty guys, the Woody Allen types, who are like always whining about shit. And, it's like, oh man, I know women who just like, I know some girls down south who just slap the hell out of them. Just quit whining, dude. Here, have a pinch of skull that's fishing out of their brassiere or something. God almighty.
Yeah.
But every region of the country has its little idiosyncrasies.
That's right.
I mean, like take New Jersey, we're the most welcoming, thoughtful people. We at the interstate where you come in, it says, "Take a cleansing breath. Welcome to New York." It's just, I don't know. The problem though is people think all of New Jersey's like New York from the Sopranos intro. 3 minutes of the worst part of New Jersey there is, or even a minute. And
exactly.
I don't know. I try to tell people like where I live it is really sweet. Yeah, Gina. He mentioned that this morning, and I know where I will be at the end of the month. After COVID and stuff, I felt like I've been a caged, bloody animal. And getting out and going to see a concert last night, it felt normal. People were getting drunk. They were acting the fool, having a good time. They were hooting it up. They at one point during the show, Waddy says, "We're going to play a song that some of you folks can get up and dance to." And I couldn't help it. It got quiet. And I said, "Well, yeah, you'll need a walker when you get done. You'll bust a hip, this crowd." And the guy next to me was cracking up because he was like literally gimping his way in next to me. And he thought it was fairly entertaining. To tell you the truth, I've been like sore from a car wreck 10 years ago. And I don't know why. It's just the weather changed, Yeah. And so I was, even when I went in, I was like, oh, these seats are okay, but shit, I hope, wish they're a little more comfortable, but so on. Oh, you know what? You're right, Kelly. Clerks is a great movie. It's so much fun. And when I lived in Florida, I would vicariously watch Clerks to remember my home state of New Jersey. And I was just wanting to get away from a lot of the redneck shit that was going on down there. I have a love-hate thing with Florida. I love it going in the winter. It's like great. But the summer, it's hot as balls. They've got snakes that are the size of my car.
Oh, yeah.
And they got just all shit that bites. And they got these love bugs that they fly and fuck twice a year. Yeah, they cover your car with this bristly black shit. Florida. I like going there. My family's there. I love you guys, but you ought to move to New Jersey. You can always go to Florida in the winter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too freaking hot. And when I used to work for Muzak or in a band, playing in Florida it's like it's literally like getting into a sauna. And to go play 4 hours, you know, it's tough down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clerks is a great movie. They have a new one coming out, which is, I guess it's out now. Kevin Smith bought the theater here in town, so I'm going to go see Clerks 3 at his theater.
Nice.
And yeah, you see him. I'm trying to get him on the show. I see him in town walking around, and I'm certainly not above just walking up to him and going, "Hey, Kevin, I tried to rent your place for fucking 2 months. I called all your peeps. Not one of those jackasses called me back. Unbelievable. I had cash in hand. I went down there. I'm like, look, you're open. You got your for rent sign up. I want to do a weekly show. I'll book fucking 52 weeks of the year with you. And I'll pay." Because my thought was then I could have a whole live audience. We could have a set. Got all my great band friends. We could
that would be awesome.
It'd be like we'd have our own private club every weekend to do the show.
Right.
We'd move to late night because who the hell's up at this? The reason we're in this time slot is because it's an experiment when I started it, and I've never, never really changed. It's still here growing, and I've changed people and sets, but I want to get it to where we've got a big ass PA, good sound man. I don't know. We got girls on trampolines. I don't know. That's been done. That's been done.
Girls on trampolines.
The Man Show. They used to have girls on
Outside the
trampolines.
box. We could do better than that.
I don't know. We'll have some. I love the ladies, so we'll have to have some ladies. I don't know. We'll have the Neve dancers. It's like James Brown. Ha! Get down! It's a man's world, baby.
I want hot pants.
I love that stuff. Clyde Stubblefield. Yeah, it's just like
right.
such a great groove. God, naughty. So it's 10:30. We're going to run a commercial, and we're going to be back with Elizabeth Berliner. Thank you for watching Live with Neve. And we'll see you as soon as I can find a commercial to roll. Let's see who we're going to see.
Hey there, it's Kevin Sorbo here, and you lucky people, you're live. You're live with Neve or Neve or Neve. I don't know. I can't say the dude's name. Anyway, you're on live with him, so I don't know. I guess that's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, man. So today we have our great guest, young lady from Los Angeles, and here she is. Howdy.
Hey, how are you? Good to
I am
see
excellent.
you.
We're better now that you're here.
Oh, thank you so much. You know,
So-
I gotta say, you talking about the UFOs and the aliens and stuff. Did you know that right here in the Berkshires, we have a guy named Tom Warner who was actually a victim of an abduction, and there was a whole thing there. There used to be like a rock in the center of Sheffield near where the covered
I know,
bridge is.
yeah.
And in the last couple of years, they took that away. So, you know what? To me, that means it must be true.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
evidence
So
to
let
it.
me make sure I understand correctly. There was a rock where this incident occurred.
That's right. And
How
took
big
it
was
away.
said rock?
Yeah.
Describe
Yeah.
the rock. Was it
The
10
said-
feet?
The said rock was probably about 3 feet by 2 feet high, and it had an inscription on it with the date and all that stuff. And in the
Did it
last
have his results from the anal probe? His medical records? I don't know. I mean, you think about it. If they're coming here, I would think after like thousands of cases reported, they'd kind of figure out what they're looking for. I mean, we're
Yeah.
pretty simple organism. I mean, really, in biological terms, if they're advanced aliens, they flew across the eons of space. What's the first thing they do? I don't know. If I was their king, I'd be like, you got to have some kind of ray, man. You go down there and scare them, go, boo, then ray them. Men in Black. That is my dream job. If there are aliens, I want to be a man in black. I really do. I think that would be a great gig. And,
Great
what can I tell you?
I think you'd be real good at it.
I would have fun, no doubt. I want to get flushed. I don't know if anybody's seen Men in Black, but I'd be in that thing all day. Just cool off, down the hoop, man. I'd probably get reprimanded for going frontwards. I could see that. Now, I'm a man in black. I can do what I want. Don't maybe zap you with the little zappy thing, you know?
Starting a new trend.
So, have you ever met the guy?
I haven't, but we've been talking a little bit on Facebook. Yeah, he actually wrote a book and he drew some really cool pictures about the experience. And the pictures look like a children's book. So it's kind of interesting. And he's trying to make his way. But they did take that thing down, which says to me, this is true. And they just don't.
Like they're
That
just
is really wild.
evidence,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah,
when the aliens come, they're like, "Oh, we didn't know. We had no idea. We had no idea." You know?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the guy? Like, what's his?
Well, I really can't, but you can find him on Facebook. His name is Tom Warner. Look him up, and you might.
I think we're gonna have to have him on the show.
Yeah, have him on.
I think from one Berkshirite to another here. I know you spent some time here, so that's why the light went on you when you started talking about that this morning. So
Well, I'm the ultimate skeptic about all this kind of crap. I'm just like, show me the money, man. How much cash are you gonna make? I want to see the alien walk down and hand him his first check, from William Morris Agency.
Yeah, I hear you.
Let's get these guys signed before they talk to anybody. Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna call up Rick and ask him for we're gonna go buy an alien to display at the Bronx Zoo or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, aliens are a weird thing. I don't know. I'm pretty skeptical from the standpoint of some of the reports, because if you look at the veracity of some of these people, it's like, I like to get high once in a while, but goddamn, I mean, I've been to Amsterdam completely baked out of my mind, and I've never seen anything supernatural or that I couldn't somehow rationally explain.
I hear that. Yeah.
Excuse me.
So the show you went to last night, you say that it wasn't full. I'm surprised.
The whole floor was filled. There was probably 1,500 people. I don't know. My other buddy was there last night. Bill, I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, I don't know. You'd estimate the crowd. I'd say about 1,500, 2,000, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's maybe a bigger venue than some of the ones that they did in 2022.
Yeah, it's like, well, even now doing the Iridium, I'm surprised they played that venue because it is tiny. And had I known,
what? It's almost more fun for them, I think, in the tinier spaces.
Well, at that club, you're going to have a really super enthusiastic audience. I bet they could sell that out for 3 nights. I wouldn't even doubt it a bit. In fact, if they were going to do it, even though I've seen him a couple times this year, I'll go see him again just because, why not? They're good. And if anytime I get to hear, I watched Leland. I had a good view of him for part of the show. And it was just like, the man's groove is just, there's a reason why he's on like 4,000 hit records or whatever it is. The numbers don't even matter. Because you can take, any one of those pieces of music is just so, he really is Dr. Low Hertz.
He is. And those records that he played on were recorded at my husband's studio, Crystal Sound.
Why don't we talk a little bit about Crystal Sound since you're here?
Lee Sklar and Russ Kunkel and Danny Korchmar, they were in there in the beginning when my husband started the studio in late '69, and they came in with James Taylor. They were on the
is that was his first gig with James? It was at your place.
They worked on the Mudslide Slim album with James.
Oh my God! I sat in the Berkshires, listened to that record, wore the grooves off it. It's so funny in my dorm.
Yeah.
What a memory I haven't listened to that. I'm going to have to listen to that today. I haven't listened to that record in 30, 40, maybe 50 years.
They were all on that record. And at the same time, Carole King was coming in and doing some of her demos for Tapestry. In fact, she had recorded the Writer album, and I think that they were also players on that album as well. And they were sort of like a musical family. They did a lot of stuff together. They and this was my husband's studio. His partner, John Fishback, was actually the mixing engineer for that stuff. So, he was, Andrew would make the magic by maintaining the equipment and making it all right for them. And John would come in and mix. But it was very cool. They worked on that. And also Jackson Browne's album, the first one, that has the Saturate Before Using with the brown cover. That was also recorded at Crystal. And those guys were involved in that as well.
Wow.
So, just some really, really huge, historically, things musically were done there, and I'm real proud. You know, my husband.
I bet you are. That's what Leland said. That was my home away from home, or something to that effect. This
Oh,
morning.
that's my heart to
He
hear.
said way back. In fact, I've got it. Let me see exactly what he said.
I'm so touched to hear that. That's really, really special.
It is. Well, you're part of like rock and roll history. It's just,
It's pretty
it
neat.
is what it is. These tunes are the soundtrack of people's lives.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got to talk to those guys when I saw them in 2022, and it was so nice because they had really, really heartwarming remembrances of Andrew and being at the studio.
Right.
Really, really special.
Well, that is special. And, the industry, if you get working in it for a long time, you forget how important music is to people out there.
That's right.
Even if you're not famous, if you're just a working musician who busts your ass, I think we're the best therapists you can buy.
Absolutely.
We're non-judgmental. We try to make you laugh. We're out here just to have some fun, and I think that fun is infectious. And if you're a fun person, people will be drawn to you. If you're an old sourpuss all the time or a cranky bastard, nobody wants to hang out with that. I think in music, it's all about the hang.
Definitely,
definitely. Once we're done playing, it's the. I got to tell you, some of the most. I meet such a wide variety of people and have in my life. I've met a couple of presidents and I've met janitors and treat them all the same way, all the ways. I do my best. We're getting a Kinky Friedman fan.
It's incredible. I mean, I did a gig in Connecticut at one of the outdoor parks, and this lovely, lovely veteran, who was disabled, he came up to me and he reached into his backpack and he said, I make these pot holders. I want you to have this pot holder. Your music touched my heart so much, and thanks for being here to play. So, we really do have an impact on everybody, and whether we're doing our own music or playing other people's music,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I was in a nursing home for a while, and I was like the youngest guy in there, and it was kind of a funny thing because I liked some of the seniors, they were characters, and it was also fairly sad to a degree. But the one thing that really was good they were bringing rock bands, singers like yourself. The audience loved it.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. I watched a couple of people who were really suffering extreme dementia, and that music clicked something in their head. They were like tapping their foot, and actually in time. It's touching. And I'm a pretty crusty, tough guy, but I gotta say, it was like, there's something in my eye. It's okay. It was one of those scenes.
Dusted off the crust and brought out your vulnerability, did it?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, for anybody out there, being in a nursing home, nobody thinks about it because if you're young, you don't have to.
This is
But I'll
true.
tell you, I think about it now, and I'll never want to be in one again if I can avoid it. Hopefully. And I was in a very, very nice place, but there are people and they're in bad shape, and it makes you realize like you could be in a really bad place.
Yeah.
And
a musical friend of mine, David Bond Engelhard, and I just played a memory clinic in Otis, or actually in Huntington, Mass.
Wow, a memory clinic.
A memory clinic for people that had Alzheimer's. And I'll tell you, there were people in there that were in their late 20s that were afflicted with this. So it's not just elderly people. And of course, there were a lot of people, that are baby boomers that have it. And, if you play all that music that they grew up with and know from their prime, it just makes people so happy. And they would get up and dance, and they clapped in the whole 9 yards. And it's just such an amazing experience. And we got done. I think we got more applause from that than you get sometimes, being in just a regular club where people almost take it for granted a little bit.
Well, I found that I never used to play coffee shops, right? And then I found... I'm like, I'm not playing damn coffee shop. I'm a rock star, whatever. I'm not a rock star at all, but that's my attitude. But I've found from playing with some friends and doing an event with the Songwriters Association that people pay attention to coffee shops.
They do.
Everybody's not all blasted and drunk, and they're not there for the same reason.
Right.
I know when I'm out playing with a rock and roll band, I'm out trying to help people get laid. That's the bottom line. It's been that way since time immemorial. One of my ancestors someday was sitting down, had two big old tibias, started beating the hell out of the rocks. Next thing you know, the guy was like king of the pack, man. ran off all the little rodent guys, sent them packing, you know, and the
Sure.
drummers ruled the earth for a long time.
Absolutely.
Till somebody figured out how to take it's disgusting, but they made strings out of entrails and they made a bass. God only knows.
Wow.
I know this, whatever happens to society, I will survive. I have skills. Got to start with the drums. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well,
You know,
I've been doing this since I opened my eyes, essentially. And I started doing professional shows when I was still in middle school, you know, playing weddings and playing with high school students and in high school dances and whatnot. And I migrated out to California when I was in my late teens and cut my teeth doing top 40 and then went into showcase and some background, you know, studio vocals and that kind of thing. And
sure.
you know,
I've seen you. I've seen some of your press from back then, and I mean, you guys were definitely had it going on.
I have definitely encountered some of the luminaries along my musical journey. It's been pretty incredible. One of my partners along the way was Joe Shermy, bass player from Three Dog Night, and we had started a production company. Of course, he was with Three Dog Night, and we called ourselves Old Dog New Tricks Productions. And,
I like it. Did you cover some Three Dog Night stuff?
Yeah.
A lot. When I was 1973, I would have been like 11. And I can still remember seeing Three Dog Night playing the QE2 in San Diego Harbor, 1973. I was next door at the only black kid in our town that I know of, only black family. His dad was president of IBM, or a division of it. And we were over there. I was singing like all these dumb songs like Raindrops Keep Falling on Your Head, on a really old crap. And he'd play guitar and I'd sing. We thought we were the shit, man. And that was like one of my first bands that him and I started a band. But I remember his parents going, called my folks and said, "Hey, Ernie's over here and can he stay? They're in the garage making a fucking racket. And they're going to watch Three Dog Night at midnight." And my folks said it was cool. And that was the first night I ever had a glass of champagne. They also asked my folks that we could have a little toast that night. So we, of course, felt like, you know, hot shit. You know, we're having a little champagne toast and watching Three Dog Night.
And you're watching Three Dog Night.
People don't remember how many great songs they wrote.
Well, the interesting thing about that was that they didn't write their own material. They got a lot of their material from Hoyt Axton.
That explains.
Yeah, they did a lot of his stuff.
Wow.
You know, there's some other guys. I can see his face as clear as day, but I can't think of his name.
Sure. I know that. I was just doing that, trying to remember the name of the girlfriend song, you know, High Maintenance.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of it.
Harry Nielsen, you know.
Harry Nielsen was unbelievably good.
Their material, but they would sift their material from other artists, you know, that were writing and then get their own arrangements. And Joe was one of the key people in making the arrangements for all of the songs that they actually put out. So that was pretty special.
I bet.
In meeting him, that was actually how I ended up meeting my husband. I was brought into Crystal Sound to arrange some backgrounds for some tracks that Joe was working with. And lo and behold, you know, I'm coming in there. This is back in the 80s, you know, and I'm decked out in my spandex and spikes and leather.
Absolutely.
And I encountered a guy who's in red centered and a tie-dye T-shirt. And I just, who is this guy? And it turned out to be Andrew Berliner, who started the studio, and we started talking, and I kept getting invited back to come in and see what other
people. You did.
Yeah. So
I actually met my second wife in the studio. Even though it didn't work out, it's a funny story, and you know, since I paid a good amount for that party, I might as well enjoy the laughter from the past. But yeah, my former co-host was working on a heavy metal record. And she, out of the blue, says, "Well, I'm having this artist work on my record, do the cover for it. Do you mind if I bring her over?" I'm like, "You're paying the bill. I don't give a crap. You know, bring whoever you want." So she comes over and brings my future wife, and of course, She came in, and I'm just like sitting there going, maybe I should put a rear view mirror on my console so I can turn around occasionally and not have to be like rude and stare. In fact, I did. I eventually put a little rear view mirror up on the glass so I could see if I was talking to somebody and I'm focused on the meters. I could go, hey, asshole, I'm not turning that down. It's just right. It's slamming nicely. You know, back in pre-digital, we could slam things, and I loved, you know, getting gnarly ass Marshall sounds. And
that's awesome. I was actually signed to a label in the late 80s with a metal band by the name of Crisis. And
I remember them.
In LA, and it was one of these contests where they picked the 10 best bands in Los Angeles, and we managed to get on there, which was really a feat back in the late 80s because there were very few metal bands that had female frontmen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know Asia Kim?
I beg your pardon?
You know the singer Asia Kim?
Yes.
Oh man, what a great! She's such a hot shit. I love that chick.
Wow.
We've had her on the show. She's great. She's really a hoot, man.
Wow.
Played with the Iron Maidens as a front man.
Oh yeah,
and she's so tiny. She's like as big as a parking meter. She looked to me, and like the voice that comes out of her is like, holy shit.
That's
well, you know, for one thing, we're running low on time, but there's no point in being king unless you can do whatever you want sometimes. So work. Enough of the, yeah, we don't go there. That was the,
well, I just want to give everybody a heads up that if they want to hear some of my music, I am also known as Jane Doe with 2 A's. And if you go to my website at www.janedoe.com, you can hear some cool music. And I have a really cool short film video that was a music video that did the independent film circuit for a couple of years, and we won all kinds of awards. And
I can't wait to see that.
Free up on my website. Eventually, it's going to go to YouTube, but I want to make sure that I really put out a big announcement before I put it up there on that platform.
Sure, it's tough to get followers on YouTube. It's one of the harder platforms to really cut through the noise.
Yeah, so it's a website, and it's about an 8-minute little film, and we really are excited about the outcome that we have for that. It really turned out to be a very cool project.
That's cool.
Still playing with me. David Bond Engelhardt is featured in the video, and he actually did the drums on the track.
Oh,
and
great.
I myself wrote, directed, conceived the whole project, produced, and I played all the other instruments on it except for keyboards. We have a gentleman by the name of Mark Tumanoxa who actually did the keyboards for me on this, and it was a really cool collaboration. I'm real proud of it, and it filmed right here in the Berkshires. Right here.
Well, you know, next time you're on, we're going to have to revisit that. And, you know, cool. If you're booking, you know, booking seems to be getting back to normal. You know, we'll stay in touch. You're good folks. And, you know, if you have work up there, let me know. We'll run some spots for you and whatever. We have
thanks for
people everywhere. I'm amazed sometimes the breakdown of people. We apparently have a listener in Lesotho.
Wow.
Why? Call me crazy. I have no earthly idea. I don't know how to speak Lesotho or whatever they speak.
Wow.
I believe they speak French there because it was a French colony, if I'm not mistaken. But you got me. I don't know. I've got 2 fans there apparently.
What do you got? Subtitles going on or something that they can see and we can't? Maybe.
Maybe so. You know what I could do? I could put the Vulcan mind meld.
There you. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
People, I hate to tell you, this is a secret mind control. If that worked and I could, I'd have probably more fans. I might be earning a little more, a couple of more shekels.
You know what?
I rule the world.
Neil, you are going to be the next Johnny Carson. I'm telling you. You're going there. You're going to have every baby boomer on the planet watching you in the late night spot.
Well, you know what? That makes me feel like, I can't tell you, you're such a sweetheart. You really are. That's very nice. And I'll walk around with a compliment all week. Thank you very much. That's super nice. Well, do you want to play some music?
Sure. Yeah, I'd like to do a couple things. You know, I was really heartbroken to hear about Lisa Marie Presley. You know, that's just really sad
story. It's like it's a tragedy, the whole family, starting with Elvis and the way he married his daughter and you know, it's just, it was tawdry and seamy. And back then everything was sub rosa because we didn't, you know, nobody cheated back then, you know. It's like today, nobody watches porn, right? If you ask a survey, But yeah, if you look at the numbers, you're like, I think a fair amount of you in the audience are lying tonight, you know. Call me silly, but yeah, then you have some crazy girl in the back who's like, woo! She's like stomping it, and you're like, now that's a hot ticket, right?
There you go. She's telling
That she may not be marriage material, but boy, I have a feeling she'll give you one hell of a weekend, or you'll wake up in a ditch with your Rolex gone in the car.
Time call.
Exactly, man. You know, it happens.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to play for us?
This is actually one of Lisa Marie's tunes. Okay, this is called "Lights Out."
All right.
And you know, it's almost like this was a prophecy. She wrote this song with Glenn Ballard, and it's a prophecy of where she is now. And all I can say is, rest in peace, Angel. You really, really.
What happened? Where'd she go?
Oh no.
Hello, Elizabeth? Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Some telemarketer had the nerve to just try to call me. The nerve of the guy.
I'm telling you, that is terrible. Hey, you've got a fan who really loves this song. So, all right, everybody, Elizabeth Berliner, you're live with Neve.
You're a million miles behind. I was crying every time I leave you. I didn't want to see you. I stood to my watch 2 hours behind. Someone turned the lights out here in Memphis. That's where my family's buried and gone. Oh, last time I was there, I noticed the space left. Oh, next to them in Memphis. Yeah, down in my back lawn. I didn't know I was in the crowd. Oh, then fresh cut grass stopped growing. Everything on my shelf is falling. I still keep my watch 2 hours behind. Oh, it's the sun, the lights out there in Memphis. That's where my family's buried and gone. Oh, last time I was there, I noticed the space left. Oh, next to them in Memphis. Yeah, till them back lawn. Someone turned the lights out there in Memphis. Oh, that's where my family's buried and gone. Oh, last time I was there, I noticed the space left. Oh, next to them in Memphis. In the damn back lawn. Someone turned the lights out there in Memphis. That's where my family's buried and gone. Oh, last time I was there, I noticed the space left. Oh, next to them in Memphis. Well, that's the damn back lawn. Oh, was that a fruit down crossing? Somewhere I stopped walking. I guess I fell off on my own. I saw my mind worn down some of the Memphis. Except for the woman I'm starving down. Oh, and I'll be damned if I ever get that little son of a bitch from Memphis. Someday I guess we'll have no God.
man, holy
That's Lisa
cow, that was.
Marie. So I've got one other little tribute. I can't believe we both lost her and Jeff Beck in the same week in the last couple of days. It's so sad. So sad. So this next one I'm going to do is just a short little clip. This is one of mine, and this is just sending out positive vibrations into the universe and hoping that all of their positive molecules and energy and vibrations are going to return to the universe and bring us good things.
Well, let's hope so. The size of the strings on that thing. What do you load that with? My God, damn, those are some thick strings.
All
right.
Be free like the wind, and you'll never end. Your time has come, and you have become one with the moon and the stars and the sun. Be free like the wind, and you'll never end. Your time has come, and you have become one with the moon and the stars and the sun.
Can't keep me out of here. Where'd she go? Seems to have moving around. Man, my hair was hot today. Jesus. That was a nice song. I really loved your finger picking on that. That was sweet.
Thank you.
Well, thank you a lot. Before you go, I had one request perhaps from someone. Would you mind to play Angel from Montgomery?
Oh, all right. Awesome.
Hey, if you could too, tilt up your camera just a hair. I'm not seeing you. It's sinking. There we go.
There we go.
You're back.
All right. There we go.
All right.
That's a little better. You move back a little. There.
Rick, that was one of her original songs. So yes, that was quite nice. You're a fan. You'll have to pick up a CD, man. Gina loves you too. Glad you're here. Really are.
Gina.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me today. This is really a lot of fun, and
it's fun for us too. Absolutely.
It's always nice to make a new friend, and
absolutely. Be right back.
Named after my mother. Old man is another child who's grown old. With dreams with thunder, lightning was desire. His old house would have burned down a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old Romeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. Believing this living is such a hard way to go. I was a young girl, had me a cowboy. Wasn't much to look at, just a free rambling man. But that was a long time ago, no matter how hard I tried. This old house just to burn down like a broken down band. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. Cause believing is a living is such a hard way to go. There's flies in the kitchen, I can hear them there buzzing. And I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. How the hell can a person go to work in the morning, come home in the evening, and still have nothing to say? Make me an angel rise from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. Believing is a living is such a hard way to go. Make me an angel, rise from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is such a hard way to go.
Holy shit. Lord have mercy, you have a great voice. You have a beautiful voice. Very nice, man.
A little challenging early in the morning like this.
It is, but you're rising to the challenge very nicely. I know how it is. I still have a frog in my throat right now, and I wouldn't want to have to sing right now.
Yeah, our two frogs should meet, definitely. They can
Yes,
both belong together.
So we have a friend of ours wanted to know what was the name of the song that you played, your original. He really liked it.
Thank you so much. Free like the wind.
And he can get that on Spotify. And
actually, that song is unreleased. That will be coming out probably in 2023. I have a whole backlog of music that has been sitting in the can for years, and that is
right.
Prime objectives for 2023 is to get out all this music that I've done
Cool.
that I've never released before. So
that's excellent.
Very excited about that. I have things from 30 years ago that I did with Joe Chermy. I think there's even something in there where Paul Butterfield played on something.
Wow. What a great, we'd have you back anytime. You're a font of great information and cool stories about the recording biz.
Oh, thank you so much.
Like I said, Lee, as soon as I mentioned it, he was, that was my home away from home, I think is how he put it.
Oh, that is
cool.
so touching.
It's funny because when I interviewed him, I remember him talking about recording with James when he first got the gig and how it's just like, what a trip, all of a sudden he's now look at it. Here we are all 40, 50, 60 years later in some cases.
Years later, yeah.
I mean, gosh, what a lot of fun. I grew up and was such a goob. I was a real nerd kid who loved recording, and I'd buy books and listen to, I read George Martin's book, All You Need Is Ears. And then
awesome.
And sit with the Beatles records and the track sheet. My friend JR has passed away since, God rest his soul. We would sit there with these books. And we're like total nerds. We're like, rewind it. We'd put it in a lock so we could go back and forth and listen to it 10 times. We'd be like, no, he's got a flanger on that. And we're like, no, he didn't. They didn't take flange. George Martin wouldn't have a fucking tape reel running through the studio. It would just be not English enough,
Of course. Of course.
We're not. We'll try that another time. That's why, That's why those guys would hang out when he wasn't around. It's nothing like free studio time. I know when I worked at a studio at Jeff Arthur Productions in Florida, we were a huge jingle factory. I mean,
Oh,
machine.
how cool is that? That's
We were
awesome.
like a sausage machine coming through there. And
Wow.
that's what I call my studio, the sausage factory.
Sausage factory.
Because you basically take meat and sometimes the parts nobody really wants to eat, you make something out of it.
Yep.
You know, it's sort of like playing with somebody you don't like. I don't know.
God,
It's like
that's the funniest thing I've ever heard for the name of a studio. I love it.
I actually have a logo that has my handsome and smiling visage
That's too
with real
funny.
short hair. But yeah, my friend JR did a logo for it. And it really is evil because I'm sitting there holding a hot dog. It's kind of suggestive. I don't know. Some have suggested it's suggestive, but I think they're just perverts.
Could be.
That's the truth. They're just a bunch of perverts. And
That's right. Right.
so,
Go there.
you know, I definitely, we can't wait to have you back. And
Thank you so much. I'm
hell,
looking forward to it. Definitely. And I will be tuning into your other shows because I truly enjoy watching you. It was great to see
I
Matt
can
Lee
tell
on
all
here
your
the
friends. Tell all your friends. You might win a free weekend to Club Neve. You never know.
Yeah.
In fact, what we can do is we should probably have a party here where we just invite everybody from wherever they are. There's a gig I played just down the street from here. They put in a brand new hotel. It's beautiful.
Oh, that sounds
The old hotel was not bad. It was just like an old Jersey Shore hotel, but it was clean. And, you know, they would put up with my shenanigans there. And I promised them that no one would drop over the side of the thing naked. That was all I could. I promised them that, and it didn't happen.
That's
There was
good.
some attempts.
That's good.
And then I had two very large Latinas. I'm walking out of the gig with my girlfriend, my guitar player's girlfriend behind me. And these two hot cha-chas came up and said, "Hey, Pappy, you the drummer. We want to make you a sandwich." And I just looked at him and I went, "Wow, that's the best offer I've had all day." And I said, "Annie, these girls want to make me a sandwich. Can I do that?" She just looked at me and she's like, "You know, whatever, have fun." You know, it was funny as hell. Unfortunately, I had to get home. I was very drunk at the time, and God knows what could happen. I got in all kind of trouble back then. Never know.
I'm very
End up waking
impressed.
up in a headline somewhere.
There you go. You didn't yield to the temptation. I'm very impressed. That's awesome.
I did. I've been good, man. It's hard. It's hard sometimes, but you know, it's a different world than when we were young.
Yes, that it is. That it is.
I'm just glad that in the 70s they had none of these little video cameras. All the stupid shit I've done is not. You know, I know my running for Congress is probably not going to happen because I once was the host at Daytona Speedway out in the pit in the middle, which is like anarchy.
Sure. Yeah.
And we had a wet t-shirt contest going on, and I know there were TV crews filming it. And so when I got done and I saw one of the TV news guys, I went over and I said, "You got to give me that tape." And he's like, "Why? It was great." I said, "Because you're going to ruin my chances for Congress, man. I'm running." And he just looked at me. I had like hair to my waist at the time. I told him, "I'm running on the freak ticket, man. I've got political aspirations. Give me the tape. You know, here, I'll give you some money." But, you know, in all the years, tell me the most interesting gig experience you've had before we go. We're over time anyway, so might as well just roll.
Wow.
Do you have any particular memories of just something that was really funny or noteworthy that you just, or one of those moments, a gig from hell? Mine was.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to let it all hang out on this one.
Great.
I was doing a gig in a club, and this is just like a little top 40 club. This is going way, way back. A top 40 club somewhere on the outskirts of Downey, California. And I had on some real, real tight leopard pants. And they weren't spandex, which that should have been my first clue. And I squatted down to do just like a squat and then stand back up, and my pants just ripped right out the back. It turned out to be the cheek show. They definitely had to take a break, and I had to actually procure a new pair of pants for the rest of the gig.
I like it.
And then the interesting thing about that was that I didn't want to part with those pants, so I turned them into like a Flintstone skirt. And I
man, I love it. That's ingenuity.
Yeah. Somewhere there's a picture of me floating around on the internet playing a gig in Sunset Beach with a cowpunk band, and I'm wearing that skirt. So
I love it. I love it. You know, here's Gina's asking the name of the club because Gina lives down end somewhere.
You know what? This was so many years ago. I don't remember the name of the club. It was a little hole in the wall dive that we were playing somewhere there. And I can't remember the name of the club for the life of me. I'm sure it's not there anymore.
She's going Neve. It's almost as bad as my name, for Christ's sake. So,
Yeah.
well, that's good. You know, I do appreciate you coming on. For everybody watching, so Rick, I've got your question answered. It is not recorded yet, and but it will be. And you can look at some of her other music because I know she's got a bunch of stuff. Gina knows where all this. Yep, I know you, Gina.
Out there on the platform, if you go to Apple Music, you can look up Jane Doe with 2 A's and find Burns Like Fire. That's one of my albums.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the Pawns single from the video that we shot and won all kinds of awards in the Indie Film Festival world. You can actually download the song Pawns if you'd like to hear that as well. And then something else that I released towards the end of 2022, it's a tune called Private Fantasy that is a completely different genre all the way around. This is something that was cut back in the early 90s with Joe Shermy and I. Joe Shermy playing bass on it, and a guy by the name of Wayne DeVilliers playing keyboards. He was the original Mac Rebenak.
No kidding.
He was the keyboard player in the Mac Rebenak band when Mac Rebenak was playing guitar. And Wayne got the call to go be the music director for Al Hirt. So he left, and then Mac switched to keyboards, and the rest is history. But he is a keyboard player on this track called Private Fantasy. So
I gotta hear this.
That's another one of my cuts that's out there on Apple Music. So just look up Jane Doe and with the 2 A's, and these things will pop up for you. And would love it if you download them or stream them or just
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And more.
It's been great having you on. It was really fun, as I expected it would be. And,
Thank you.
So,
I'm looking forward to more. So anytime.
Well, anytime. You're great, and hell, you never know. We may have unfinished business. If you ever need a percussionist, I'm always around. So
absolutely,
and I have tracks here. You can mail me stuff, and I can mail it back and email it, and our faxes can link up and all that electronic. I get so confused having all this crap. I've got just social media. I just want one console that I can afford to do all my social media, like I do the show where it streams. I spend more time dicking around with a computer than I really want to.
I totally understand. That's people don't realize that today, if you want to be a successful musician, you've got to have an engineering degree to have all that stuff wired to do.
And you have to have social media. I mean, I just took a class in social media, and it stuffed my head full of ideas because I realized
you should be teaching that class.
I can teach now, but the thing is, it changes so quick.
Yes, that's true.
And it's like I've given up TikTok. I have no desire. I know people love it, millions, but it's not my crowd. It's not baby boomers aren't on there hooking up and doing, showing their titties and whatever else these people are doing. I will tell you, TikTok is about when we used to talk about the power of the internet. We're going to learn. We'll be able to. I can become a veterinarian online, right? No. What do we get? We get porn out the ass.
Oh no.
Bad choice. The thing is, if we had not had pornography, we wouldn't be having this conversation. The first thing every jackass out there wanted to do is, I want to see some breasts on the internet. There's number 2 to cats. I mean,
I haven't seen any. I guess I just don't know where to look, but that's
I made up a statistic, so I don't know if it's true or not. Who the hell knows?
Fake news.
It's a show. Who cares? If they fact find me, they'll have Twitter will fact find me. They've already done that where I've had to write them back and go, I was writing a fucking joke, you imbeciles. Obviously, this is an algorithm and not a real human, because a real human couldn't be this stupid.
Yeah.
And then they released my block. They read it and went, I hope I give somebody a laugh. I always try to give somebody a chuckle when I can. And it's like, I don't know. So for all you people watching, we'll be back at 4. You can come back at 4 too if you want. Hang out. Why not?
Too.
And we're gonna have all kinds of fun. And I don't know. I've got some new tricks for Mandy, and we're gonna have great fun today.
Well, it was a delight and a pleasure to meet both of you, and thank you so much. And looking forward to more down the road.
Damn right. Well, we'll see you soon, and everybody have a great one. I'll see you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.